And we are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by The Key where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. For those of you who don't know, new comics come out every Wednesday at your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. But they come out every Wednesdays, and we're here on a Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, to talk about all the books that came out this week, whether they're DC, Marvel, Image Comics, Dynamite, whatever, everything that we could read in 24 hours, we are here to talk about. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and if you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, you can see us live, and you can see all the covers and the guests that we got on. But if you're listening to the podcast, then I got to introduce them, and you got to use your imagination when it comes to thinking about what these comics are all about. First guest is Jecky, aka Jecky Comics. Jecky, what's up, man? Welcome back.
What's going on, guys? Nice to be here again.
Yeah, it's good. It's been a couple months.
It has been a couple months.
I'm glad to have you back, and it's not just you. It's also your twin, because you guys have very similar reading lists this week.
We did.
And I don't know what's going on. You guys overlapping so much, but I'm gonna introduce them. We got Joshua, aka Joshua Stephen Ling. Joshua, welcome to the show, first time.
Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, I'm super happy to have you. I like your content. Jecky is a fan of yours. Little did I know it was nepotism. Scheduling you guys for the same episode.
That's my twin.
Yeah, we love it. It just makes the conversation better.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you guys, which means you're gonna be double passionate about whatever that you guys overlapped on. But the way the show works is, we all read as many comics as we could in roughly 24 hours. Sure, are there going to be comics that we catch up on the weekend? Yeah, there's comics we can't humanly read everything that everything before showtime. But this show, it's an experiment of sorts. While we're doing the show, I just want to know you guys' reading lists. If you guys able to run through your reading list, including issue number of everything you got done this week?
Yeah. I got you. So I might have mine here. So I read Bitterroot number 4, The Next Movement, Godzilla versus Thor, which is a one shot. X-Men, Hellfire, Vigil, Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern number 4, Ultimate Wolverine number 7, The Amazing Spider-Man number 7, and Captain America number 1.
That's a good one.
I did not get to my X-Men one. I'm a little behind on the X-Men, so I didn't get to it.
That's fair. X-Men's one of those things you may have to binge later.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
fair.
It's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question for you, but I'm going to bring it up to both of you guys after I hear Joshua's reading list. Joshua, what did you read this week?
Yeah, so I got through all of my lists, surprisingly. It was a short list, thankfully, this week. I got Absolute Green Lantern issue number 4, Amazing Spider-Man number 7, Bitterroot, The Next Movement number 4, Captain America number 1, Godzilla versus Thor one shot, Godzilla Heist number 5, X-Men 19, and then the Hellfire Vigil as well. So literally almost the exact same reading list.
It's just, it's kind of funny, you guys are copying each other, but it's kind of cute, We're
mutuals for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, so I overlapped on a lot of those. But then, I have my own stuff. Because what I was going to point out is that you guys didn't read that many DC comics. And the question is, do you just not normally read DC comics, or you just didn't do it this week?
Go ahead, Joshua.
Just yeah,
I'm still figuring out. I'm still figuring out my thoughts.
I have so I've always been a Marvel guy, but I've just recently, so with All In is really when I started reading DC books,
which is great. It's the strongest DC's been in a long time.
It's been really great. So all the Absolute stuff, and then as many of the All In stuff as I can. But for whatever reason, this week there just was not a lot on my reading list that I've been reading. I thought it was weird and had to double check it like several times to be like, is it just one book? So I think it was just a fluke week, honestly.
Yeah, it's because it's also a 5 Wednesday month, so
Yeah.
DC gets hit a little bit harder than Marvel on that because Marvel just has more ongoing series going on, but DC has less because right now they're circling the wagons, keeping things close, trying to focus on quality. I think, and
They're
so
doing a good job.
they are doing a good job, but it means it's divided by 5 instead of 4 for this month. And it's not only a 5 Wednesday month, it's a 5 Thursday month, which means 5 comic talks this month, except for San Diego Comic-Con weekend. We're not doing comic talk there. Comic Cock, that's a different show. That is a different show.
I'm not getting on that.
I'll be off that week.
That is late night Cinemax comic talk. So if anyone's out there, if you're watching us live, it's youtube.com/thekeeg show. Let us know you're out there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review, do your thing. Whether you're listening to the podcast or you're just watching it. I see people, watching us right now. Let us know. Jump in the chat, I do have covers and stuff, so I do want to show off some of the art of what we're talking about. But my reading list. Captain America 1, X-Men 19, X-Men Hellfire Vigil 1, Batgirl 9, Birds of Prey 23, JSA 9, Batman 89, Echoes 6, Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit 1, Avengers 28, All New Venom 8, Wolverines and Deadpools 1, and I think that's it. So
that's a shorter list for you. Normally, normally, whenever I get on, I'm like, I feel so bad. Normally, you have like 15 that you're reading.
There's normally a lot. But again, you're right. There just was less this week because it's a 5 week or 5 Wednesday week, but whatever. 5 Wednesday month. But there were some really good DC comics out there. So I'm going to challenge, I'll bring it up. But
all right. Cool.
What did you guys had a pick of the week? And here's the challenge. I know you guys overlapped. Pick different picks of the week so we can talk about everything.
I think so. Yeah.
Who wants to go first and box the other out?
I'll let Jecky go first.
All right. Jeky's going first.
Well, I know this can't be your pick of the week, Josh. I don't think you read this. So I think my pick of the week is going to be Ultimate Wolverine number 7.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It's building up something interesting. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Did you read it, Dimitri, or? I'm
a couple issues behind, so I didn't read issue 6 or issue 7. So I think I've read like the first 5 issues of Ultimate Wolverine. It started off kind of rocky and not what I wanted, but then it started going into what I wanted, and then I stopped reading it. So I don't know. I don't know what I want really at that point. But
I don't want to spoil it. I guess I might end up spoiling some stuff for you then.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's kind of what this show is. We talk every week about stuff. Comics pop up once a month. It is what it is. Shout out to Shy Wolf in the comments. Shout out to Dungeon Crawler Kevin in the comments. Dungeon Crawler Kevin says, "What do you think Storm and Wolverine's daughter's powers will be?" That is, I feel like that's leading the witness here. We'll talk about that. I think that you're talking about.
That's one of my questions.
Hellfire Vigil. Is it Hellfire Vigil that we're talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
That's a good question, though.
Because that's also, I don't know whether that's correct either, but it is what it is. Ultimate Wolverine 7. Joshua, you didn't read this one?
No. So I was late to the game on the Ultimate universe. I put it off, and so I've just been reading it on Unlimited. So I'm like several issues behind, but I have been reading the series in general. But I'd be curious to know, Jecky, I mean, what your thoughts were on it, because I don't care about being spoiled either, because I'm so far behind on all of those.
Why is this your pick of the week?
I think it sets something interesting. So Wolverine, his brainwashing has finally been undone. So we're seeing him dealing with kind of like the regret now, just now he realizes what he's done, right? Like he's killed like innocent people, he's killed people that are his comrades. I'm also really enjoying this X-Men. I'm not re- I wasn't enjoying that series.
Is Jeky's video a little off,
Actually dropped
Joshua?
it.
Okay, it's Jeky, not me.
So like this, we're getting the mutants. Am I
Jeky,
back?
you're good? You good?
I think so. Am I
Okay, now
back?
you're back. Yeah. I wasn't
Oh
sure if
man.
it was me.
Okay,
I'm
was
like,
it?
it's like when you're
I didn't know.
hallucinating, you know?
I was like, wait, he's not moving.
It's like you see that guy in the
What's the
corner
last
of the
thing you
room
heard?
watching me as I sleep, right? Is it just me? No. Okay. Sorry, Jeky, go. Did he freeze again?
I think so.
Jeky, you froze again. I can hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Your video's frozen, but your audio's okay.
Oh my god.
You can just talk. I think we're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. All right, so in distance now, which turns out Wolverine was part of before. Am I good? Can you guys see me and hear me?
It's cutting in and out.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I may have to reset my Wi-Fi then. I'm sorry.
It's
All
cool.
kinds of technical difficulty today.
Yeah, it's all right. Are you able to reset it and then come back?
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay,
Let me run
cool.
and do that real quick.
All right, we'll do Joshua.
All right.
Joshua, tell me what your pick of the week is.
I think it's going to be Captain America #1. It was tough between Bitterroot and Captain America, but I think I have to go Captain America. I've been waiting for a good Steve Rogers book. So far, I think this was a really good setup, a really good premise. I'm interested to see where it goes. It definitely kind of brings us into like Cap's reawakening in a more modern time, which I'm kind of interested to see, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Well, so it's funny. We were talking. Okay, so did you read the new history of the DC universe?
I have not read it yet. It was on my list for last week, and then I wanted to make sure for tonight, I wanted to make sure I read all of the books, so I kind of prioritized new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And didn't get to it last week, but
so something that I brought up on previous episodes, Comic Talk and whatnot, is that DC gets to do reboots, but like Marvel is a sliding timeline, which means it means like you take where we are now with Marvel Comics, and it's always like minus 15 years ago or whatever. So I feel like with Captain America #1, it's all about him getting thawed out of the ice, but I believe it's post September 11th.
It definitely appears that it's like he's back, and it's maybe like, I don't know, not that long after September 11th, to be honest. It looks pretty recent based on what they showed.
Actually, yeah, I mean, it has to be pretty long after. It has to be long enough that the kid in the beginning sees the towers fall, and he's a kid. Then a couple years later, he enlists when he's 16 or 17 or whatever, but he's still scrawny. And then, spoiler, probably gets the super soldier serum, right? So
yeah,
we're dealing with maybe Cap getting thawed out of ice in like 2005. But I wouldn't even say 2005 because, like, has Cap been Cap for 20 years? Like, how long has the Marvel age been?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
On this sliding timeline.
That sliding timeline, I get why they do it, but it's also so confusing. It's so weird. Yeah, it's hard to know how they're trying to readjust it.
Yeah. For me, the way I see it with the sliding timeline is I normally judge it by, like, you pick a child character and then you see how old they are now, because the adult characters like Tony Stark don't quote unquote like don't age, so it's hard. So
Right.
like I judge Marvel by Kitty Pryde's age. So
Okay.
Kitty Pryde being 14 when she joins the X-Men, and by the time she joins the X-Men, like Cyclops is probably in his like early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Kitty Pryde is in her mid 20s now at the very least.
Yeah.
If not like 27. So I would say 13 years has passed for Kitty Pryde joining the X-Men, and probably 7 years past that. So probably Marvel's been around for 20 years.
Yeah,
The age
that
of
makes
heroes.
sense. Yeah. That tracks, I think.
Yeah, so like Tony started off in his 20s and he's now in his 40s.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon stuff. But that means
I think that's good.
Captain America gets thawed out in 2005.
Yep. Yeah. I thought that was such an interesting. I'm really. One of the things that I wanted was, okay, I want Cap to say something again. His last, especially the last Steve Rogers like Cap series, I was not into it.
That's fair.
I don't remember who was writing, honestly. It was like 16
that was J.
issues.
Michael Straczynski.
Yeah, it got into some weird cosmic stuff.
But that's like there's always a cosmic cube messing with stuff, right?
Yeah. I just didn't know why we needed to. It dealt too much with this weird shadow Asgard in a way that it was just like, okay. And it didn't, I felt like it didn't say anything. I want my Cap stories to like say something. And so what I was really excited about in this first issue, at least, was them already diving into like, oh, what does post 9/11 nationalism look like to someone who also idolizes Captain America? And how then does Cap deal with kind of, that weird juxtaposition of people using his story from World War II, which was a very different kind of nationalism, I feel like, in some ways, than the way that even the kid's mom says this, like, calls it a racist war. Like, I think there's some definite things that I think this could say, which I'm really interested to see if they like actually choose to say it.
Yeah.
But that's what I love out of my Cap stories. And so like I was excited to see them like take some big swings out of the gate in this first issue.
And it's Chip Zdarsky. So he's a quality writer. I just think it's interesting that Marvel is essentially saying with this Captain America #1 that Cap gets unfrozen after September 11th, which means there are no heroes in 2001. Like, Spider-Man's not around, Iron Man's not around, Thor hasn't come to Earth, like nobody, there's no heroes in 2001, which kind of makes sense. You gotta, like, it has to happen, nothing stops it, and then you deal with ramifications. But Jecky, we're talking about Captain America #1.
Yep.
Do you have a quick one sentence thought before we move on?
That was good. I feel it was a very good first issue. I'm curious to see where it goes. Looks like they're introducing a new character.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if he's gonna be kind of like a alternate version of Cap. Like it almost seems like he's gonna be a more militant version of Cap, or so. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that. I
have too many thoughts about the subject matter that I can't get into here. Like, just there's not enough time. But if anyone remembers the original Ultimate Marvel Universe with the Ultimates, that is literally post 9/11 version of like Avengers, and like they're dealing with the things there. And it's interesting now we've gotten so far from that in real life that is the past and it's so weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where Chip is gonna go. I'm very interested in that. My pick of the week is Batgirl #9. And so this is me saying that you guys gotta read Batgirl. It's Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Like, to read this one, I fell one issue behind. So to read this issue, I had to read the issue before it. And there's such joy. I'm not plugged in DC Comics to like the martial arts characters like Richard Dragon, but there is a flashback in issue 8 where it has Lady Shiva, her sister, hanging out and like hooking up, at least her sister is, with Bronze Tiger and Richard Dragon. And they're like in their like late teens, early 20s, like doing like cage fights around like Asia and stuff and around the world. So it's like it's tapping into like the martial arts genre that DC Comics has, and it's tying Bronze Tiger, Richard Dragon, the two, and then Shiva and her sister who dies. And so and then Cassandra Cain is supposed to be the best martial artist in DC. So I recommend
over Lady Shiva at this point. Is it kind of like established now that she's over Lady Shiva? Or
I mean,
is it
I don't like power rankings personally because I think like Nightwing could lose a fight against a baby. Like if you write it that way, you write it that way. You can go full like Final Destination on any character and just make a chain of events in which they lose the fight. That's just how
it felt like first. It felt like for Shiva though, she had that title for so long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah.
But then there was always like Batman being like, "I've mastered all the martial arts in the world," and it's like, okay,
or a Black Canary, or the whole thing with her fighting Black Canary recently too.
It comes down to the writing, but Batgirl, like Cassandra Cain, she's awesome, and like she's in Batgirl. Like, I mean, this series is about her, so if you like all that like League of Shadows, League of Assassins, martial arts stuff, it's cool. Also, they introduce a new character and they retconned something in it, and it's, I mean, you guys want me to spoil it for you? So
sure, go ahead. By the time I get to it, I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah,
so
same.
Cassandra Cain is the daughter of David Cain and Lady Shiva. Lady Shiva has another kid, turns out, with Bronze Tiger. So there's a new character. His name's Tenji. What's his name? What's Bronze Tiger's name? Ben Turner. So Tenji Turner, and he's the Jade Tiger or something like that. And like they're just introducing more martial artists and Cassandra's half brother. So I'm hoping.
Nice. I need to jump on that.
Yeah, it's cool. Also, and this isn't the pick of the week, but it's just always great, Birds of Prey 23. Again, Cassandra Cain's in this too, but like all the DC like female heroes are really cool, and it's written really well, and they just introduced a couple issues ago Ink from Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, I remember Ink. That was great.
Is Kelly Thompson writing that? Who's writing Birds of Prey?
I think it's Kelly Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to read that too, because
that's why I'm surprised you guys didn't read any.
They're
DC.
crushing it.
You know? People have been raving about that. Everyone's been raving about that Batgirl series for a long time, and I hear a lot of good things from my shop from Birds of Prey. For Birds of Prey, I just felt I was so far behind. I was just like, it's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
But
yeah, same. When the All In, I tried to grab like the number ones when they like but some of them didn't start it, so I was just confused on where to start. And having never read DC, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, not all the All-Ins had good entry points as promised. You know, some of them were definitely like, you were like, okay, this is a little
shout out to Year of the Collector out in our chat saying awesome guest tonight. Batgirl is a sleeper series, and then also that Lady Shiva first appeared in Richard Dragon's comics. I just think it's funny that like Richard Dragon is a character that was once big and now like he does not matter to the DC universe. You know? But again, a lot of these martial artists don't either. Like, when was the last time Bronze Tiger appeared? Like, he hasn't done Suicide Squad stuff in a while.
Yeah, he was in the animated movie, and that's the last time I remember him.
That was a good one too.
It wasn't Arkham, or it was like an Arkham
Hell
anime.
to Pay. It was Suicide Squad Hell to Pay.
Hell to Pay, which was that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. All right, for the sake of time, it's just gonna be a shorter episode today, and I'm sorry for that. Let's go through like quick thoughts about everything else. Well, did you guys read X-Men Hellfire Vigil?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So each couple of pages focuses on kind of a different character from a different series. So it's all the X-Men related series kind of coming together with different writers and artists on different pages. And it's normally the writer or artist that works on the different series. But you see a lot of different things, and I'm not necessarily a fan of this issue, but it did do this thing with Storm, and I didn't want to. I want Dungeon Crawler Kevin to be able to hear what we have to say about it. Joshua, did you read this one?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and Jecky did too?
Yep.
Okay, so we do get a glimpse into the future. Storm sees a vision of the future in which she sets up the vision of the future on the other end. Like, she tells her daughter at that moment in time to show the calendar, to show the time, and to talk to herself across time, essentially. So we see Storm's daughter.
Yeah.
What do you guys have thoughts about who the father could be?
You know, I have no idea because I naturally wanted to be T'Challa, you know, but the fact that she said fangs like my father makes me almost think Wolverine. I'm like, I don't know who else would have fangs, like
Blade.
unless if she gets
People are saying
Blade,
Blade.
Yeah.
but like it didn't feel like a vampire, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like a vampire to me, but it could be Blade. I thought about that too, but I don't know if Storm has what a relationship with Blade. I guess in the future will develop, but these are not two characters that I think about very often
Yeah.
with their paths crossing.
The only thing I can think of is Storm has a past with vampires. She hates Dracula, so they could team up against Dracula. You know, that's the only thing I think of.
Yeah.
But
I was racking my brain the whole time trying to figure it out. And I just yeah, the only two people that I thought of were Blade and Wolverine. And I was like, only because she had definitely had, if you've read the Storm book, she's definitely had some relations with Logan.
Yeah.
Recently, which to me brought up
Yeah.
the fact that she doesn't go get a pregnancy test in that issue.
yeah.
Yeah, like it felt like it was connected.
Yeah.
I would say that the kid saying fangs makes it automatically not T'Challa, because T'Challa just doesn't have fangs. Like, Wolverine sometimes doesn't have fangs.
Yeah.
And Blade always has fangs. T'Challa never has fangs.
Yeah.
Unless it was from when he
But
was
If
a
there were
vampire.
vampire fangs, that's what I was thinking. Like, but they might do something and switch it up, and T'Challa gets an upgrade at some point.
Well,
you
he
know,
was
like Miles
already a
Morales was a
vampire in
vampire for a minute
Bloodhunt.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. You're right, but that was short lived though.
Yeah.
Because the fruit cured him, like
Yeah.
or something like that. Like he was able to resist.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like but I mean, it looks cool. She has Storm's powers and fangs, so
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also has
Don't
black
be-
hair. So
He does have black
Mhm.
hair.
whatever that means. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have time to go through that. Did you guys read X-Men 19?
I did, yeah.
I did not.
Okay. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was good. I'm great. It seems like we're setting up something that felt like we'd finished the last arc with kind of their run-in with the 3K. So it was nice to kind of jump into something different. And with Warlock and Doug, I'm spacing on all these
Warlock,
characters.
Doug, who is
Doug,
Cypher, and then
Cypher.
Bay is
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's either
that's why.
Bay or Bai, but I think it's Bay. Bay the Blood Moon. Yeah. We also get a explanation what 3K means. 3K means there will be no humans in the year 3000. That's their goal.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because they did have that big warning
So
slash
they're like
at the end of the vigil,
Yeah.
which was, yeah, again, I really enjoyed that, setting up kind of what their whole deal is, and then in this new X-Men book, kind of showing what the heir of Apocalypse and their kind of goal and mission is moving forward, and kind of will those two things be opposed to each other. I thought was interesting.
I'm glad that they kind of course corrected from the end of like Heir of Apocalypse, that miniseries, because it just set up like, oh, Doug's a bad guy now, and he looked really weird. And in this issue, they were like, oh, he thought about it, but he was like, nah. And then he grew his hair out. So it was like whatever the writer originally set up, they were like, whatever. We can do what we want. I'm cool with that because I didn't like that weirdo looking Doug, you know? Once again, shout out to anybody watching and or listening. Let us know in the comments, like, comment, subscribe, follow. 2 Godzilla books out this week. Let's hit these real quick. And we'll speed everything up. But Godzilla versus Thor, worth reading or not?
Yes.
I thought so. I enjoyed it.
I thought it
was
ruled.
Really
if you enjoyed the Jason Aaron Thor run at all, or if you read the Jason Aaron Thor run, it's like such good like callbacks to that. There's some really good callbacks to like Jason Aaron's Punisher run, which I didn't read, but I know like what happened in that. And it was probably my favorite of those Godzilla versus books, I think. Just because I felt like it was, I don't know. I thought the Thor story and element was really solid.
Jecky?
Yeah, it felt like they really made Godzilla an entity. You know, like he was like a force of nature. Like you took like it wasn't. Also, sometimes you read some comic books where they force a character to become a good guy. You know, they kind of change. And like he's just a force of nature, and there's like it takes like Thor. It takes everything he's got. They end up actually both dying because just they can't defeat each other.
Yeah.
And they end up in was it Asgard, and they go fighting in Asgard again, you know. Like it is a good series. I really enjoyed it. Like you really felt like Godzilla was a force of nature and there was just no stopping him.
Yeah.
But also
like
Thor
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but also Thor got his licks in too, though.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like in the other like versus Godzilla books, it was never really like it was always, oh, actually they're not actually fighting Godzilla, they're fighting this other thing, or they're doing this other thing. And it felt like this one was really lived up to the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jecky was saying, they literally destroy each other because they're just like fighting, and then they end up in hell to fight every morning, like for eternity. Like they just fight each other into eternity. It was like kind of badass.
Yeah.
Really quick and like one sentence pitch, Godzilla Heist 5. I feel like, Joshua, you're a Godzilla fan, so that's what it seems like. Was this
I think
good
I
or
am,
not?
maybe. I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. It's basically every heist trope you could want, double cross, triple cross, and they're going in trying to steal stuff, and they use Godzilla as a distraction.
Okay.
As like the pitch. Yeah.
That's
but it's a really fun 5-issue series.
Oh, it just ended?
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ended-ish, I guess. But it's done.
Okay. Bitter Root, the next movement. I know you guys talked about it before the show, but let's get like one sentence from each of you guys. Who wants to?
Amazing. I think amazing. There has to be more. This is for now. They've only announced 5 issues. This is issue number 4. There's so many plots that need to like. They need to flesh out. There has to be something else coming, but really good. The basis of Bitterroot is in this world, people that are racist or that have hatred in their heart turn evil. And there's just a family that some of them are hunters, some of them cure them, and basically it centers around generations of these demon hunters. It's a great story. So art is amazing, just good stuff. Like this is based in during the civil rights movement, whereas the original was during the Harlem Renaissance.
Okay.
So it's just very good.
Okay.
Super good. I love it. The things that they talk about as far as like how hate can take root in places or people, and then whose responsibility it is to actually like deal with it, I find those questions and really interesting, whether or not everyone agrees in the
Yeah.
book the best way to go about it, which I think is also really interesting that they're talking about that too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also very timely right now.
Yeah.
It's just a good time for this.
All right, we'll do triple time, quadruple time on the rest of our stuff. Absolute Green Lantern number 4. Honestly, I only read the first 2 issues. I stopped reading it. I will get back to it. I just moved it down my priority list, so I'm sorry. Was this good? Was this worth it?
I'm ready for the story to really kick off. I feel like at this point, we're like number 4. You said I still have no idea what's going on. I'm kind of like it's dragging for me, and I wanted to get to. I feel like all the past 4 issues could have been 1 issue or maybe 2. I'm ready for it to get started. Really, I was a little disappointed, to be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Joshua,
kind of same. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this was a maybe drop it series, and I just don't like the art, to be honest. Too.
It looks like it looks like kind of like very cheap manga. A little bit. Like, I hate how they drew Al Jordan. I'm like, I really want to root for this series because I love Joe, but like I don't like the art. It looks like very cheap manga. I've seen like, I don't know, man. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I've seen like stuff online that looks like, I don't like the art at all. Also,
yeah. In summation, Jecky, don't like the art.
I'll second that. Yeah. We are twins. I do not like it. That's fair.
J&J. All right. Amazing Spider-Man 7. I didn't get to read this one. I have been liking the new run, but I didn't read this one, so I don't know if you guys read this one. But we'll gotta wrap up this list quick.
I thought it was good. I'm enjoying the run. I'm enjoying the writing. I do kind of wish, again, it's the art. I wish John Romita Jr. wasn't on the art. Yeah. Some of it looks good. Some of it looks kind of whack.
I'm not a big fan of JRJR.
Damn, dude, we might actually really be twins, man. Like I get so much slack because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm like, what was it? World War Hulk. Like, I love World War Hulk, but like his art always takes me away from it. And whenever I revisit World War Hulk, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think that's all the books that you guys read. I also read a couple of them that I'll just go through real quick. Unless you guys read it. Did you guys read anything else?
No.
That was pretty much it.
Okay. I don't think so.
JSA issue number 9 finally gets back to something interesting. We see a couple of key characters do some key things. This is the issue to like jump back on for anyone who stopped. Have hope. I think this issue picks it back up. Also, Batman 89 Echoes issue number 6 finishes off the miniseries of Batman 89 Echoes, which is a sequel miniseries to the original miniseries Batman 89, which was a sequel to Batman Returns, which was a sequel to Batman 89 the movie. Anyway, the point being is it's super confusing, but this has the art is really good because they essentially cast early 90s actor or like mid 90s actors as these characters in the art. So Jeff Goldblum is Scarecrow in this, and Madonna is Harley Quinn, and Marlon Wayans is Drake, is what they like. I don't know. It's not Dick Grayson, but he is Robin. But then he becomes kind of like Nightwing. There's like they kind of do their own thing, using Batman Returns as continuity. In the previous one, we see Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. Like they use the original actors and the actors of the time. Martin Short is, I think, the Riddler in this. Arnold, who plays Mr. Freeze, but this doesn't take place there. Arnold plays Blockbuster.
Really?
And then
interesting.
So like it's like a different continuity. It's not the Joel Schumacher ones. So it's like it's supposed to be the first 2 Batman movies from Tim Burton, and then this is like the 4th movie if you think about it that way. So
okay.
You know,
Interesting.
Gotham City Sirens unfit for orbit. You know, it's Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Selena Kyle, and they're prepping a space adventure essentially with this miniseries, and it's kind of like the Harley Quinn cartoon in a way, but it's in continuity. So there's a lot of butts and a lot of making out and like beating people up. What can I say? I don't know. Avengers 28 finishes off the Masters of Evil arc, and it's really good. I don't know. This Avengers run's been really good. All New Venom issue number 8 also is tickling something in me. I like this. I don't normally like Venom or Carnage, but right now All New Venom's pretty good, and Eddie Brock Carnage is pretty good. So I'm happy. And then I read Wolverines and Deadpools issue number 1, which I think was kind of a letdown, but the art is good. But it leans really heavy into, oh, Deadpool knows he's a comic book character, so like there's so many references to him knowing he's a comic book character.
Yeah, they're leaning really heavy on it. Like after the Deadpool movie, it just feels like they're overdoing it now. Like that other Wolverine and Deadpool series that there's another one running or that might have finished. Same thing. I was kind of like, okay, I get it. Like the movie was great, but you're really leaning into this right now.
To be fair, my favorite Deadpool iteration isn't Ryan Reynolds' voice and jokes. Like it's not like, so it is what it is. Everybody has their favorite kind of Deadpool. They're all a little bit different, but I think that's pretty much it. Everything that came out this week, at least that we read. I know it was a little bit of shorter time for you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and talking about everything that we read. And next time, we'll have more time and we'll be able to go way more in depth.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot happened in a lot of these comics. So I would recommend that anyone watching or listening picks up any of these comics. Go to comicshoplocator.com. Find a comic shop near you, one that you can vibe with, one that you can connect with. Pick up any of your comics there and support your local comic shops. Before we get going, Jecky, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Jecky Comics. I'm on TikTok and Instagram mostly right now. Just trying to help newcomers navigate comic books and some reviews in between.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice kicking it with you guys.
Yeah. Let's make it a regular thing.
I'm down.
Yeah. Joshua, first time. You did a speed run of everything. I appreciate that. Where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to
plug? Joshua Stephen Ling on most everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, some on YouTube, not really, but yeah, just reading comics and talking about them. That's kind of my vibe.
Awesome.
And I just loved being here. It was great to actually talk to Jecky in video form. We've talked a lot online, so this is great. I love the show, so anytime it'll be fun to be back.
Are you guys going to any cons, any Comic Cons coming up?
I think I'm gonna try to go to. There's something coming up that I was just talking about.
New York,
but it might be more anime.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be more anime, but there's something coming up.
San Diego's coming up in a couple weeks.
What's in New York?
New York Comic Con in October.
Oh, okay. I might try to go there. That's not too far. I go to New York pretty often.
Joshua, where are you at?
I'm in North Carolina, so San Diego's a bit far, but New York, I've been tossing around the idea of going, but we'll see.
It's a good excuse to see online people IRL, you know? So, you know, who knows? Who knows? I'm going to try to be there. I'm definitely going to San Diego. Going to try to be there in New York. But it'd be cool to see you guys in person.
If you do it in New York, we could do an episode in person. That'd be dope.
We could. Or a panel, because I applied for 2 panels for New York.
Oh, so
We'll
dope.
see.
There you go.
Thank you both of you so much for coming on. For anyone out there watching, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or Derpy Entertainment. I saw you on Twitch. We're pushing YouTube now, Derpy, so hop over to YouTube. All the cool kids are here, and Twitch restricts our video, stuff. So, not really our thing. YouTube.com/The Keeg Show, or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. Those are our ones. Find us, like, comment, subscribe wherever you're digesting us, whether you're watching us or watching and listening. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review. Do your thing. This is Comic Talk. It's every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all the new comics that came out that week. So this week is Jecky and Joshua, and then next week it'll be 2 different guests, but then we'll get Jecky and Joshua back soon. Support local comic shops, comicshoplocator.com. Find a comic shop near you. Also support your local public libraries. They most likely, 99%, have comics there, so support them. Grab some comics. Do your thing. San Diego Comic-Con's coming up, so if you're going to be there, you're going to be there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Jecky. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, everybody else out there. Shy Wolf, Dungeon Crawler Kevin, Year of the Collector, Derpy Entertainment, all you guys. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been another episode of Comic Talk for July 3rd, 2025. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Super strong or super fast. Gotta beat the boss and get the loot, 'cause it's the king.